But Hugh, we got to get to Taijuan. Kyle played us back in with it. We hit it a little bit in the first segment. That was different last night. His first career save. He came out last night in the 7th inning, and he finished the game, 3 innings, 7 strikeouts. That is an eye-opening 3 innings, regardless if it's to start a game, to end a game. Like, if you have 7 strikeouts over 3 innings, your stuff is for real, and you're fooling hitters, and he hit 94 last night, which last year he was hitting 90, 91, and remember they sent him to Tampa to do like the weighted ball thing so he could increase the strength of his shoulder. Yeah. Well, whatever they've done, it's worked. Obviously, he's pitched better this year. But Hugh, that was like I went from, okay, he's in the bullpen now, maybe he'll pitch in blowouts, which last night was, but when I watched it last night, I was like, oh, this might be something. That they may have stumbled upon someone that could really help them in the bullpen.
And you know what it is, Joe? Even though he pitched like he was upset, he embraced it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think that's the most important thing. Again, never been a pitcher. But the people that I've talked to about being in that role, the mentality is totally different. You know, because it's all or nothing, and you can just let your hair down, so to speak, when you're in that role, because you're only going to be out there for so long. You don't have to pace yourself. You don't have to worry about, stretching it out a little bit. And that's what he showed last night. He might have been in a situation where he didn't want to do it, but he did it. And now, since he's had success doing it, because if I'm not mistaken, he did something that hadn't been done in a while, as far as being in that situation, getting a save.
To get that kind of length of a save and have that many strikeouts, it's very rare.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where he probably feels good about the position that he's in, and on top of that, you have a guy that can probably do both. He could do both if you need him to.
Well, you're right. And the other thing he provides right now, Hugh, which most of the guys in their bullpen don't. I mean, when they signed Joe Ross, I think they thought he could do this, but they've kind of transitioned him to just 1 or 2 innings. He could provide length.
Long relief.
Right. Like last night, the game was basically over. You don't want to use 2 or 3 relievers to get the last few innings, right? If you could just finish it with 1, that saves the rest of the bullpen for tonight. I mean, he didn't just pitch well. He saved everyone else. So if tonight is a close game, which most likely will be close, most of their games have been close this year, then they have all their guys, right? They didn't need to use Strom last night in a 7-0 game. I thought he was awesome last night. I mean, 7 strikeouts. I almost did a double take when I watched the last strikeout. I
didn't even know it was him.
Well, I know
to the day.
you got fooled. He was so good you didn't realize.
I didn't realize who it was. I didn't realize who it was. Just watching the game and kind of just watching the performance.
Yeah.
And it didn't register at the time
because we haven't seen him throw that hard since he got here. Yeah. I was impressed last night by him. 215-592-94. Are you buying Taijuan bullpen Taijuan? What should we call him? Is he bullpen Taijuan now?
That's fine.
Bullpen Taijuan?
Since we have to have everybody has to have a nickname.
Taijuan Rivera? Is it too early for that?
That's fine. We can do that. If that's what you feel comfortable saying.
Might be a little early for that. Nah,
I mean, has it ever stopped us before?
No. I mean, you're doubting Douglas because you doubt people. I mean, you have a lot of nicknames. All right, but let's hear from Taijuan on the bullpen adjustments he's had to make here.
Yeah, just staying ready. I mean, from the beginning of the game, I think being a long guy, you kind of have to be ready. Anything can happen. So just be ready from the first inning on, and just stay loose and just pay attention to the game.
Well, he makes it seem easy. It's not easy to do what he did last night. I mean, sometimes when starters transition to the bullpen, it takes them a while to get a new routine down. I mean, that was the first time they called upon him, and boom, he goes out there and dominates. Let's hear Topper after the game on Taijuan and kind of the role now that he's in and where this whole thing might go.
Now you start thinking about different things with him, but now, at the same time, we want to keep his pitch count up because we might go back to a 6-man, but geez, that looks pretty good for 1 inning, too.
So by different things, you mean like leverage?
Yeah, if that guy can dial it up for an inning or 2, that's really something.
You know what I heard there when I heard Topper?
What'd you hear?
He had something in mind when they moved him to the bullpen. Like, he'll be our long guy, but if we need to go back to the rotation, a 6-man, he's our guy, right? You know what I think happened last night?
What happened?
He watched him and he was like,
I got something here.
The relief pitcher I need might be right there in Taijuan Walker.
And it's something to be said about somebody who embraces that. Mm-hmm. He might not. I put it like this, Joe. It might have been a situation where he had to pitch last night out of necessity. They wanted to see how he did, and he probably had a little bit of an attitude about it. But after he pitched and his teammates, kind of received him the way that they did, he's probably cool with the spot he's in right now.
I mean, look, I think you're right about the attitude. He carried himself out there last night. Like, you know what? Bleep everyone. I'm just going to blow everyone away. And I've never seen him pitch like that in a Phillies uniform. I mean, the first few years he was here obviously wasn't very good. Last year was terrible. But even when he was a starter earlier this season, we didn't see that. That was big-time stuff. 215-592-9494. All right, your phone calls here on the Phils. Are they winning you back over? And, of course, Taijuan Walker. Are you buying what you saw last night, Kyle? What do you think?
Well, I've come around in the big way on, not only Taijuan the player, because he's got to show me that, but Taijuan the guy. Like, I was... the whole thing about tweeting and liking tweets about Topper not using them in the postseason and stuff.
He's evolved from there.
Yeah, it was like, who does this guy think he is? Yeah. But like everything you hear about him and the fact that he's like, you hear that he's a really good teammate.
And then they always say he worked hard. He just stunk last year.
And for a guy that makes as much money as he does, to accept the role to go to the bullpen, not only do that, but to like really embrace it. And like, just every time I hear him talk, I'm like, I think he's a pretty impressive guy at this point.
Well, I remember there was a moment last September where he wasn't supposed to pitch, or they just removed him from the rotation and something happened. He had to come into a game in like the second inning and he just pitched, or he wore it for innings to save the bullpen. And they all commented after the game how much that meant to the team. Yeah, there's a reason the guys like him. He's obviously worked hard enough to fix whatever that was last year, because last year he was so bad. I mean, he was one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball last year. And now this year he's helped them a lot, both as a starter and now as a reliever. I'm intrigued.